Hello and welcome. This video will show a worked example on how to calculate the standard deviation using Excel. When calculating standard deviation, the first thing we need to determine is whether the data we are working with is a sample or the population, as this changes the way we calculate the standard deviation. If we are measuring the population, this means we have in front of us the entire data set, i.e. we are 100% confident we are looking at the full range of possible results. For a sample, this is not the case. Therefore, we cannot be sure what the process achieved with the sample will always be true. In this example, we will be calculating the standard deviation of 30 parts that have been measured. To demonstrate how the calculations change, we will consider the measures as a sample and population. So let's now jump into the Excel and take a look at the formula. As we can see, both formulae are actually very similar. The only difference is the sample calculation we divide by a lower number. This is effectively making up for the fact we have less certainty in that what's been calculated is the entire population spread of results. Both formulae require us to work a few things out. To begin with, let's start by working out the mean. In Excel, there is a function called average that can quickly do this step for us. All we need to do is use the function and then highlight the cells we are interested in. The result in this case is 30.01. Next, if we are working out the population standard deviation, we need to note the number of samples. In this case, it's 30. For a sample standard deviation, the input is one less, so in this case, it's 29. Now we can move on to the next step. For each value, we need to work out the difference to the mean. To do this, we simply take the mean away from each individual value, and we do this for all 30 samples. For all 30, we then multiply the value by itself, and this results in there being no negative values. Now the final bit of the jigsaw before we use the formula is to sum all of these results together, and this comes to 9.227. To work out the sample standard deviation, we now take the square root of the previous sum we just calculated and divide by n-1. The sample standard deviation we get comes to 0.56. Similarly, if this data were to be the entire population, we follow the same calculation, but this time, instead of dividing by n-1, we divide by n. The population standard deviation we get comes to 0.55 to 2 decimal places. Now this video has been all about explaining how the formulas work. However, I would stress that this is not the recommended process anyone goes to. In Excel, there is a very quick way that we can find out standard deviation without having to calculate all of these different elements. If we are looking at a sample, we use the standard deviation function ending with .s. If it's the population, we use the standard deviation function ending with .p. The software then does all the calculations in a flash and we get the results. Note how the results are exactly the same as what we just calculated. Thanks for watching. If this video has been useful, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. You might also want to check out some of my other videos. Do you know the difference between tolerance and variation? Click on the video links to find out more. Thank you.